What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone? Let me know if my mic is good before we start the show. How y'all doing tonight? Give me 1 second here. Yo, what's up? What's up, JJ the Mime? What's going on? Let me know if my mic is good. Y'all can hear me good. Okay. Prayers to Buffalo. Yeah, man, it was sad what happened in Buffalo. So sad. Just crazy that stuff like that is happening in 2022, man. It's crazy. Give me 1 second, y'all. I want to make sure my mic is good, though, before I start. So y'all let me know in the comments if y'all can hear me clearly. Everything is good. All right, Tyrone said I can hear you. Okay, cool. All right, what's going on, y'all? So we're going to start the show tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about what's going on with the HBCU players at camp. We're going to be pretty much talking about anything y'all want to talk about tonight. I know it's been a few days since I did a live, so I wanted to come in and chop it up with y'all, see what y'all want to talk about. Southbound said, bro, glad to hear you. Appreciate it. You know, I open up the phone lines too, so y'all can call in and get y'all thoughts on what's going on. Your boy Felix Harper from Alcorn State got a contract with the Browns. So he did very good at his minicamp invite, and he earned a contract. So that's very good for him. And that's what we need in the SWAC. We need to see guys going into the league, getting these contracts so more players can want to come to HBCUs. What's going on, Miss Ivy too? How you doing, Miss Gowdy? Yeah, but prayers to everyone prayers to all black people really. But prayers to the families going through what they're going through from the shooting that happened in Buffalo, New York. It was very sad. Didn't James get a contract too or something? Yeah, he signed already. Most of the draft picks always get contracts. But they still got to make that 53-man roster. So, but the contract is just a little bit of cushion. That's pretty much all it is. Just a little cushion, kind of, give you a little bit of breathing room. You know, that you're going to be in the organization no matter what. You might be on the practice squad, but a contract gives you a little cushion. Because the organization is they're making an investment when they give you a contract. Gabriel Green, sub Buzz. What's going on? Now I'm hoping to Kill Glass gets a contract with Tampa Bay. I think that he'll be very good with them. So we're hoping that he's gonna make it and be at least the fourth quarterback, be a practice squad guy for a few years, and then probably go on to, go into the organization, become a quarterback there one day. I believe James is going to make it. Been watching the news and they are very impressed. They love him. Yeah. I already know he's gonna work. Like, you could tell he's one of the hardest workers in practice. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna show him what he got. He's very explosive. And it looks like those are the kind of players that coach want. You could tell by the way they drafted that they wanted all explosive guys. So that's probably why they got James as well. But I'm hoping that Akil Glass makes the team in Tampa Bay. That's what I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with him. Because he deserved to get drafted, man. Like, I feel like he got the short end of the stick throughout this whole process. Because he's a very talented player. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the SWAC. And, for him not to get drafted, or, for him to just get an invite and not get a contract, that's crazy. But I've been hearing Marquise Bell been doing his thing in practice as well. And they had him doing special teams. I could see him being a return guy for the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, so I also want to talk about NIL deals tonight. Marquise is too. And Cowboys fan, we already have him getting ready for special teams. Coaches already said he will be playing special teams. Yeah, that's great, man. That's awesome. It's awesome, man. So we need players seeing that so they can know, okay, if I go to a HBCU, I will still be able to make it to the league from a HBCU. They need to see that. Did JSU win over A&M hurt Glass? I don't believe so, man. A lot of quarterbacks, their teams get blown out sometimes. I don't think it hurt him. I think his last performance at the was it the HBCU Legacy Bowl? I want to say that it was the HBCU Legacy Bowl. I think that hurt him because he did good in the All-Star game that he performed at. But the HBCU Legacy Bowl, he didn't really have a good game. So I think him ending off on a sour note like that probably hurt him a little bit. So what y'all think about NIL? Do y'all think that the NIL is a good thing or a bad thing when it comes to players? I seen a lot of articles talking about what Deion said. And some people got it wrong. Well, Coach Prime, I'm gonna call it Coach Prime. I seen a lot of articles talking about what Coach Prime said, and they kind of mischaracterized what he said, trying to say that he was against NIL when he's not against it. He just saying that when you pay a player money, you're gonna have to invest in that player like you would a professional player. Because at the end of the day, they can't get hurt and things like that. You have people paying money to see this player on the field and produce. So you have to, the whole mentality of it has to change because they're pretty much a paid employee at that point. So what do y'all think about that? The Southern O-line for the Bears got a huge contract, man. Ooh. Yeah, I think Ja'Tyre Carter, he's gonna be great for the Bears. I think he's gonna be great, and they definitely need O-line in Chicago for Fields, so I think he's gonna be good to go. SWAC, if undrafted, how does housing work? Do they make enough for an apartment? What you say? Which mean after they sign a contract? I mean the contract. Once they get a contract, they make enough money when they sign the contract because they sign like a 6-figure deal usually. A practice player makes 6 figures, so they'll be straight. It's way better than working a regular job. Way better than working a regular job. Diamond said people hear what they want to hear. Right. It's just crazy to me. Like, they go out their way to make these false headlines. And it was a black organization that did it. BlackEnterprise.com. They said Coach Prime was against players getting paid. And like, why would you mischaracterize what he's doing? Like, don't put that on HBCUs. Like, y'all supposed to be on our side. Y'all supposed to be on our team. And you want to put that out there. People hear what they want. So if y'all had to make a guess of who y'all think will get the most playing time or be the first person to really shine out of this draft class at the next level, who do y'all think is going to be? Do y'all think it's going to be James Houston? Do y'all think it's going to be Marquise Bell? Y'all think it's going to be Ja'Tyre Carter? Y'all let me know. I'm also going to have Mr. Ford call in. You know, we always get Mr. Ford to start off the show, get us going. But we just talking about SWAC football here. You know what? Everything that's going on in SWAC, that's what we talk about over here. So make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So I'm going to open up the phone line. That's the number right there, 657-390-4814. You want to call in, give your opinion on anything that's going on in SWAC. You know, we just here to talk about SWAC content. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. Southbound 3000 said James Houston and Bell. Tomorrow Leader Sports Network say Ja'Tyre Carter would be the first. I'm kind of leaning towards Ja'Tyre Carter as well. All right, somebody's calling me. Hold on, y'all. Let me cut off the music. What's going on, Caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, this is Mr. Ford. How you doing?
What's going on, Mr. Ford?
All right. I want to express my condolences to those families up in Buffalo. There's also was a shooting in Milwaukee, and I'm hearing today there was a shooting in Laguna Beach, California. So I want to express our condolences to all those families and everybody that was affected by those horrific shootings and what happened yesterday and today. I heard you a little bit. Let me tell you something. First of all, I love NIL.
Yeah.
I think it's long overdue. I think them kids should have been paid many, many years ago. You talking about these black athletes have brought these predominantly white universities billions of dollars. They've made coaches rich, filthy rich, and that's one of the problems they don't like now is that these kids can now get some money for their pay because they want them kids to be like slaves, to work for nothing. They saying that this kid, Jordan Addison, could make possibly $3 million. That's more than a lot of them coaches and a lot of them collegiate administrators. You think they happy about that? No, they're not happy about it. But I am. I'm definitely in favor of NIL. I love that transfer portal. We're able to get athletes we hadn't been able to get in the last 35 to 40 years. So I love the transfer portal. I don't know if y'all been watching this week. It's been some outstanding athletes been leaving those PWIs coming to these HBCUs.
I've been seeing that.
There was an All-American defensive lineman. He left Austin Peay, is now going to Tennessee State. The Ohio Valley Player of the Year, the quarterback from Austin Peay, was from Memphis, Tennessee. He's left Austin Peay and now is at Tennessee State. So I'm feeling real good.
Yeah.
Did you have any questions for me?
No, I was
asking some questions.
I was gonna ask you, do you think NIL is gonna hurt HBCUs? Like, do you think these PWIs with a lot of money, they're gonna try to take advantage of it and kind of squeeze smaller schools like HBCUs out?
Listen. America ain't never been equal on nothing. You're gonna have the rich, you're gonna have the people in the middle, and you're gonna have the people who are at the bottom. Okay? So ain't never been no equality in this country, and ain't gonna be no equality with NIL. Okay, what I like is that these kids are now getting some form of compensation. Like I said, the reason they're upset is because now money is in the hands of these black athletes and they don't like it. Okay, you got to remember, especially in the South, for a long time, after the Civil War was over, they did not want a black middle class, and they would strike out and try to destroy it. I don't know if you ever get a chance. Look up the Wilmington riots. That was over money in the black middle class. Look at the riots in Memphis. Okay? Look at the Atlanta riot. Okay? All of that stuff was because black people were getting money. Economically, we were flourishing. And the white majority has always been against that. In other words, they did not want a black middle class. So, yeah, there's going to be inequality in the NIL, but I like the fact that these kids are getting compensated at the HBCU level and at the PWIs. I like that.
I want to pivot real quick and talk about what happened to Delaware State women's lacrosse team. They posted a bunch of videos. I don't know if you had a chance to see the videos that came out now.
I've seen them.
It's
Liberty,
ridiculous.
Liberty County is right outside of Savannah. That's a big military base there. It's that town is called Hinesville, Georgia. It's one of the biggest infantry bases. It's called Fort Stewart. Okay, that's nothing new in Georgia. Really, to be honest with you, that's nothing new in this country. Okay, there was a time in Georgia, if you were traveling through the state of Georgia, you had what they call the Green Book. Remember the movie about the Green Book?
Oh yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, that was true. You had certain towns in Georgia, they wouldn't sell black people gas. You had to go to, if you were on the highways, you had that green book and it would tell you where the people would sell you gas. That is nothing new. That was, A1 racial profiling, but here's the thing. It was filmed.
Yep.
It was filmed.
What
it's
shocked
nothing
me?
new.
What shocked me was how hard they were going trying to find something. Like, what you really thought a women's lacrosse team was gonna have some drugs? Like, come on, man. Like, have you seen a video where one of the girls had a gift that her aunt gave her in her bag,
Yes, I saw that,
and he opened it up, looking all through it like she had some drugs hidden in there. It's just crazy to me, like just the blatant racism in this country it's crazy to me, and I just don't get, like, how hasn't laws been passed to stop this kind of mess? Like, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah, well, see, now, historically, if you look at it historically, they have always had a perpetual hatred for the so-called blacks, a perpetual hatred for the so-called Hispanic, and a perpetual hatred for what we call the Native American. They have always been treated as subjects, not as citizens and having citizens' rights. This country's always treated our people that way. This is, for me, as a historian, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. This has gone on for years, okay? Actually, in the past, it was worse, okay? But this is nothing new, and it's going to continue to. Now, supposedly, the president of Delaware State has filed a complaint with the Department of Justice. He has a relationship with President Joe Biden, because you remember Joe Biden was the senator from the state of Delaware, and he has a relationship with University of Delaware and with Delaware State. So we're going to see what happens with that. But, hey, this is nothing new. This is nothing new.
So do you think we're going to go back to football now? Do you think Akil Glass is going to get a contract with Tampa Bay? I'm hoping so, but, they got a lot of quarterbacks.
This is what I want Akil to do. I want Akil to learn as much as he can from Tom Brady and from Byron Leftwich and, the people down in that Tampa Bay organization. Learn from them. If he doesn't make Tampa Bay, I'm praying that somebody else will give him an opportunity. You remember Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks, for many years, was the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
He wrote in his book, he said that the greatest learning period for him was when he was with the Green Bay Packers, and he was learning and watching Brett Favre. And all the things he learned from watching Brett Favre, he used it when he was given an opportunity at New Orleans. That's what I want to happen for Akil. Learn from Tom Brady. Watch his work ethic. Because let me tell you something, Akil is a good guy. I love, the years that I saw Akil in that system under Cornell Maynard, I felt that he was a pro quarterback. I felt that if he couldn't make it in the NFL, he could go to Canada. But I believe that he will get an opportunity. I don't know where. I can't predict where he's going to get an opportunity. But I believe he's going to get an opportunity.
Yeah, he just looks like a pro to me. He's 6'5".
Yeah, me too. He looks like
the size.
He plays like a pro. He doesn't make no mistakes. He's smart. He makes his wide receivers play. He leads his offense. Oh, listen, and here's the thing. I just felt that the offensive line at Alabama A&M this year was not the kind of offensive line that could protect him. And Jackson State exposed that, but I think they still won 8 games. They only lost 3 games, I believe. I'm not sure. I know they lost to Jackson, FAM, and they lost to Grambling. So I think they lost 3 games. Okay? But kudos to Coach Maynard. He did upgrade his program. If you go back, I don't think anybody brought in as many transfers as Alabama A&M did through that portal and through the signings. But
so you think they're going to make some noise this year in the SWAC?
Yeah, they're going to make some noise. The biggest question mark in Normal, at Huntsville, is who's going to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
Is it going to be that kid from the University of Miami? Is it going to be Quincy, the kid from Memphis that transferred from Jackson State, or is it going to be that other kid? Okay, that's going to be the thing.
Now,
The quarterback, the issue of quarterback.
I wonder how Quincy Casey is feeling right now. Like he just left. He left Jackson State because he had a competition there that he thought that he wasn't going to have a chance to win, and now he's at Alabama, and they brought in some quarterbacks that may just get that may go before him. So,
But that's good. That
yeah,
means we got great competition. Because let me tell you something, Quincy can play.
yeah,
Quincy can play. I saw Quincy his true freshman year when they came here and played Bethune-Cookman at Georgia State Stadium. I was under the impression, like, why are they taking this kid out? He opened up the game with a bomb to one of the wide receivers, took a hard hit, and it was like they never brought him back, okay? My thing was this kid can play. Then I saw that kid play in a spring game after they benched Jalen Jones. That kid looks impressive to me now. So if they bring in a kid or some kids in that's better than Quincy, that means that the conference is going up in terms of talent and personnel.
yeah.
Because Quincy can play. He can play.
I honestly think he should have transferred to another SWAC school so he'll be able to play. I don't want to see him on the bench again. Like, I want him to get a chance to play. So I would have rather him transfer to another SWAC school, whether it's UAPB or somewhere like that he's gonna actually get some playing time, because the quarterbacks they brought in now,
Well,
those guys look like they may get a shot before him. I'm not sure though.
let me tell you something. I don't think you can turn down the opportunity to play for a system that has been put in place by Cornell Maynard. Cornell Maynard is a quarterback guru.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if you worth your salt and you play for Cornell Maynard, you're gonna shine. I'm gonna be honest with you. Athletically, I think Quincy's better than Akil. Now, I don't know as far as efficiency. See, the thing about Akil was he didn't make no mistakes.
Yeah.
He knew that offense. He was like a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
But athletically, Quincy might be better.
Yeah. Quincy got an arm. He's talented at throwing the ball.
He might be, and he can run.
Yeah.
But the thing I like about Quincy is I like how he stands in that pocket. I like I know that he's, like you said, he's been on the bench and everything. But what I saw at Jackson State, I saw stability in the games that he did play, and he looked like a person for the time. A guy that looks like he's ready for it. That's what I saw when I saw him. I think he's gonna do well at Alabama A&M. Like I said, to me, that guy Cornell Maynard's a quarterback guru, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Cornell Maynard, he's a quarterback's dream. Willie Simmons, quarterback dreams. Hugh Jackson, quarterback dream. Eric Dooley, you got a chance to play for Dooley, quarterback dream. We got some good quarterback coaches in the SWAC now, and Cornell Maynard is one of them. So, listen, if I had a son, I wouldn't have no problem for him playing for Cornell Maynard now, especially as a quarterback. Yeah, I would send him to Cornell Maynard. I'm a big fan of Cornell Maynard.
Mr. Ford, what do you think about the XFL doing the showcase for HBCUs? Do you like?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I like it.
About Rock Johnson?
Well, Dwayne Johnson. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dwayne. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's great, man. That's more. Listen, that's jobs for our kids.
Yeah.
That's jobs. That's what it's all about. I want our kids to be profitable.
Yeah.
The other thing I want them to do is I want them to get married and have successful children too. But yeah, I love that. I love that. When I saw that, I jumped for joy. And by the way, you was talking. I heard you talking about black college players in these camps. The people in Atlanta are pulling for this kid named Kadarius Hodge. He played for Coach Willie Simmons out at Prairie View. I think he went to Cleveland and maybe another team. But we feel like he can make it here in Atlanta. He's a wide receiver. Now, you know that for the first time in maybe 10, 15 years, we don't have Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have Kevin Ridley. So wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons is wide open, and I just hope that this Hodge kid can catch on and do well here in Atlanta. I know some of your Prairie View people. I know they remember him. His name was Kadarius Hodge.
Yeah, I think they should have drafted Malik Willis, but I think they might have fumbled on that. But we'll see what the new quarterback they got does.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with Atlanta. that once they said that he was a right-handed Michael Vick, I knew then, they were going to turn the light off, But I think he's going to do well and with the Tennessee Titans. I give him maybe a year or two. He will take that position from Tannehill because that kid can do some things Tannehill can't do.
Yeah.
And you're going to see.
A lot of people are
really, to me, I was shocked that he didn't go first round.
Yeah, a lot of people are comparing him to McNair, saying that he has the same body type and he's able to run just like Steve McNair back in the day.
He can do some things. Now, I ain't going to listen. He got to show me some more things. Now, I don't. One thing I don't do. I don't throw. You don't compare people to Steve McNair. Steve McNair was one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
So we don't compare people to him unless I got to see him play. Okay, because I watched McNair from the time he was in high school. I remember when they came to camp at Grambling, and we saw him then. Because, see, people don't know, McNair was not only a great quarterback, he was also a great defensive back. See, he had a scholarship offer at the University of Miami. They wanted him to play defensive back. At one time, he had a Mississippi record for interceptions. Okay, so Malik is good. But right now, I cannot mention him in the same breath as a Steve McNair. Okay? That's like comparing people to Doug Williams. These guys are all-time great, not just in the SWAC and HBCU. These are some of the greatest people to ever play the position. Okay? So, now I can't mention him in the name of with McNair right now.
Make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't subscribed yet. Also, the phone lines are open. You can call in. Me and Mr. Ford, we're just talking right now, but if you want to call in and get your opinion out, you can call the number 657-390-4814, and I'll put you on the show. But yeah,
listen.
Go ahead, Mr. Ford.
I'm looking right here. Real talk. This is what everybody in Atlanta is talking about. This is what I'm telling people about Alabama State. I've watched Alabama State the last 3 or 4 years. The defense was there. Travis Pearson had that defense right. They were disciplined. Their biggest problem was they didn't have a competent quarterback. The offensive continuity was not there. The play calling was not there. Okay, I think I don't know if I mentioned it on this show. Now, all of you know they just got this transfer from Auburn, who the people in Texas compared to Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
My thing is this. Don't waste this kid's talent. If the offensive coordinator that you have cannot come up with a strategy and X's and O's to showcase this kid, go get somebody that can do it. Don't waste this kid, because he's automatically the face of Alabama State right now.
Yeah.
I can't think of the kid's name right now. His name escapes me right now. But
Ms.
the kid
Ford,
is from Texas. He transferred to Alabama State from Auburn. Everybody in Atlanta is talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay? Because everybody wants to see. Because, see, the sleeping giant to me is Alabama State.
Yeah, I think they're going to be really good.
Everybody knows Jackson State, FAMU, and what they bring to the table. The biggest mystery right now is Alabama State. Are you going to continue to be mediocre or sub-mediocre, or are you going to step up to the table now and become a perennial champion? That's what everybody wants to know about Alabama State.
All right, Mr. Ford.
Got the stadium.
I got a call. Let me get this call real quick.
Okay.
Let me put you on.
Okay. All right.
All right, caller, you live. Talk to me.
It's Gabriel. How you doing? From Memphis.
Hey, Gabriel, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, I was just listening to you. And you talking about Quincy Casey. You said you wish he had transferred to a SWAC school. Yeah, he transferred to Alabama A&M.
No, I know that. I'm talking about again because they brought some quarterbacks to Alabama A&M that may get on the field before him. That's why I was saying I wish he transferred somewhere where he was going to be the man. You know, unquestionable.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
To
another.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get to another school besides A&M. I get it.
Yeah.
Get you. Okay.
I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him. You know, sitting on the bench again. You know, he was on the bench at Jackson State, and then seeing him sitting on the bench at A&M. That's not what I want to see. So I want to see him play.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That does make sense. If you're gonna sit on the bench, you may as well stay at Jackson State.
Yeah.
That's the case.
Yeah.
And then the Delaware State situation. okay, now there also was the footage from the guy's chest cam, and when he was sitting in his car and he was on the radio talking to the other police officers, and he was saying, we got a bunch of black girls on the bus, and they might have some weed, and then that's what that's how the whole thing sparked off.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, this is 2022 and this is still happening. And it's blatant in your face, and they're not going to be punished. Then if they are punished, they get paid administrative leave. How you punish, you giving somebody a paid vacation from work, that's not punishment.
Well, and then also, too, the sheriff, man. The sheriff, we got an Uncle Tom sheriff up there, too, man. Like they're saying, all skin folks ain't kin folk. He one of them.
But that's what they always do, though. They always have a commissioner or a chief or whatever, that's black, because they have to put that black face in the front so people can't scream racism. That's what that person is for. And how we are sometimes. We just want to check. We want, we only thinking about ourselves. So we like, hey, I'm getting this check. I got this big high time position. I'm just thinking about my family. Even though you're probably doing destructive things to the community, people just think about themselves sometimes. They don't really care.
And then the dude in Buffalo, man, this dude traveled 200 miles to Buffalo to do this, and they say he had been planning this out like at least a couple of months, and then he was in Buffalo. I think they said he arrived like Friday, so he was just sitting there just casing the joint Friday.
And I want to see it. I want to see if the government is gonna go after those groups. Cause they're all on these Reddit sites and 4chan and all this other kind of stuff. There's like a hub for these these white supremacist guys that that's planning these attacks. They're getting their inspiration from these forums. So I wonder, is the government gonna attack these groups like they attack what's the rapper name, Young Thug from Atlanta? They don't put a RICO case on his crew, on his record label. We're gonna see if they're gonna do the same thing for these these groups like that that's out here planning terrorist attacks. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Hey man, there's justice and then there's just us. But yeah, man. I guess like you said, back to football. I'm like you. I'm with the NIL deal. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna go, but the NIL deal and with Coach Prime, I was kind of like listening to Scotty.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with him on this one. That I heard what Prime was saying about players getting that money, then they act professional, and then it's kind of hard to handle. No, Prime, you still in control of the doggone scholarship.
Yeah.
So you pull the scholarship, then the player would no longer be able to get the NIL deal because I think at least I suspect that part of the deal of getting the NIL is the fact that you got to be in school too. So if they get out of hand, you still can pull the scholarship. So you still control the narrative. And, that's all I really got to say about that, man. And you and Mr. Ford have a good night. I'm going to continue, listening to y'all. And I'm gone.
All right, thank you. Appreciate the call.
All right, now.
All right. Mr. Ford, you got anything to say about that?
Was that about the thing over in Hinesville? About the girls?
Yeah, we was talking about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Listen, there's been a suit now. There was a bill written about the racial profiling of blacks on interstate highways. That was done maybe 10 years ago, and I don't know if it became a law, but hopefully, there will be some investigation. But see, here's the thing. If the Justice Department doesn't go into this with teeth, it's going to continue because nothing's going to be done. You have to understand that one of the things they don't like doing is reprimanding police departments or state patrols. So, it's in a way they got a free hand. It's going to continue.
Y'all, the phone lines are open. Phone number 657-390-4814. If y'all want to call in, get your opinion on anything that we're talking about tonight, you want to call in, you can just call in. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to it yet. Make sure y'all hit that like button. So, Mr. Ford, if you had a choice of who you think is going to win the West this year, who would you say? I think Grambling might get it. I'm not totally sure, though. I think Alcorn going to surprise some people. People are sleeping on Alcorn. I wouldn't be shocked if they make some noise this year.
Yeah, that West is basically, except last year. Usually the West comes down to that Bayou Classic between Southern and Grambling. I'm going to be honest right now. I'm going to be kind of disappointed if this guy, Eric, with all this stuff Eric Dooley's getting, if Eric Dooley don't win that West, man, I'm having a little problem with him. And the same thing with Hugh Jackson, with all that, because I watched Hugh Jackson's spring game. Only problem, well, it wasn't a problem, but the question mark for me was that quarterback position. I like that Halloween kid, but I think he's going to have to modify that offense a little bit for him. They got this kid in from North Texas State. From what I hear, this kid can play. He's a left-hander. They got another kid that came from that school. This kid's supposed to be like 6'6". He came from some defunct high school, I think in Ohio or somewhere. I think it's going to be there. Now, let me just tell you this. The school, once again, that's kind of like the sleeping giant over there in that West is Texas Southern. But here's the reason I don't put a lot of promise in the Texas Southern. See, I believe that winning starts in the president's office. And see, every 2-3 years, Texas Southern getting a new president. You can't run no athletic program like that because, see, you got to have your president, your AD, and then your coaches. Okay? I said this over and over again. Yes, Jackson State had Deion Sanders. That stuff started with President Hudson and with AD Ashley Robinson. And see, when you changing presidents every 2 and 3 years, you can't win in that SWAC like that. That's chaos and confusion. And let me say this before I get off this line. You people from FAMU, I need you to clean up that mess down there in Tallahassee. Because you can't win like that. You can't. Now, if that Tallahassee Democrat article is correct, that's graft and corruption. And if that article is correct, not only does that president need to go, but his top lieutenants need to go too. You will not win the SWAC with that kind of chaos and confusion going on down there in Tallahassee. I just want to say that. And it's not up to the people down there. It is up to the Rattler Nation, to the people that love that school. You got to clean that mess up because that's a mess. You know what?
I back on Texas Southern, I don't think they have the defense to compete. I really don't. I think they have the offense. They can put up points.
That's my problem. I saw them 2 times last year. Like you said, I love the Andrew Body kid. I love that offense coordination. That guy's good. His name is Doug Marsh. But then the defense, they couldn't stop nobody.
Yeah, I think that's going to be their Achilles heel this year.
And what I was hoping was that Lovie Smith, Lovie and them are supposed to have a relationship with Texas Southern now. They're going to give them money and they're going to do training. I want Lovie to take one of them young defensive assistants he got with the Texans and put him and make him the defense coordinator at Texas Southern. That's what because Lovie is a defensive ace now. Yeah. Lovie Smith, Lovie comes from that Tony Dungy camp. It's Lovie, Herman Edwards, that guy Tomlinson up there with the Pittsburgh Steelers. All them guys was under Tony Dungy. And Dungy was a mastermind. And so what I want Lovie to do is to take one of them young assistants that he's grooming and put him on that staff at Texas Southern. Texas Southern can score, but they can't stop nobody.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not putting them in that race for the West.
Diamond said,
McKinney,
what happened at FAMU?
Think he needs to upgrade his defensive staff.
Diamond says, what happened at FAMU? What article? I missed something. No.
It's in the Tallahassee Democrat concerning the president and a whole lot of other shenanigans that's going on. And my thing is the alums or the alumni need to investigate that. And if that stuff is true, then they need to make some changes. Because listen, that kind of stuff right there will stop you from winning. But that stuff, see, FAMU is a nationally rated school, like many of the schools of SWAC. FAMU is nationally rated in journalism, pharmacy, agriculture. They have a nationally rated program in nursing. I mean, listen, you can't have that kind of mess if you got that kind of reputation. And Princeton is raving about you. And go and read the Princeton Review. They don't rave about FAMU as just a HBCU. They said that that's one of the top schools in America.
Yeah.
I once read an article in it was one of the Florida, I think it was the Florida, not the Florida Times and Union, but it was the Miami Herald. They said that FAMU's business department was the best business department in the state of Florida. And then they had it on the line with Harvard and Yale.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to get their business straightened out now. You can't Now you can't go with that now. Get that mess straightened up and straightened out.
Diamond saying what stuff? It has to do with the old athletic director, all the things that was going on with that, the deals being signed behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Just Google it.
Yeah,
it's from the Tallahassee Democrat.
Yeah. So they're blaming leadership. It was a lot of stuff going on, and people putting the blame on other people.
A lot of stuff that don't make no sense.
A bunch of CYA stuff going on.
Yeah. You got to clean that kind of mess up. You got a worldwide reputation. Everybody knows you. Florida A&M, baby.
Yeah,
you're known for academics and you're known for sports.
I love Florida A&M though. They're one of the best schools in the SWAC, and I'm glad they're in the SWAC because they're a big time school. So I really hope they clean this up and really get their program
you can't
on the right foot.
That kind of. Even if it's not true, they need to do an investigation. I see Mr. Campbell on. How you doing, Mr. Campbell? Yeah, they got to straighten that out. That kind of stuff right there. You can't see that kind of foolishness. If that's true, because right now it's alleged, but if that's true, that stuff will tear up your school.
Yeah. Make sure y'all.
Now, Mr. Campbell, what you think about the man that's at SUNO coming back to FAM? He's a FAM graduate, Dr. Amon. Well, what you think about him coming back to FAMU?
Let me let everybody know. Hold on, Mr. Ford. Let me let everybody know. The phone lines are open. Phone number 657-390-4814. If y'all want to call in, get your thoughts out, you can call in. The phone lines are open. Make sure you hit that like button so we can get the stream out to more people. Appreciate y'all.
Right.
Gosha is fine because trust any of that stuff was true. Is no way those folks at Tulane would have hired him. Oh, that's right. Because he's
at Tulane. I think his main responsibility is with the football team. Is that right, Mr. Campbell?
Yeah.
I know that I think he's doing some stuff with the football team.
They may just needed a fall guy. They probably just needed a fall guy. That's what it seemed like to me.
I liked Gaucher. I thought. Now let me tell you something. The guy before Gaucher was pretty good too. He's here in Atlanta at Kennesaw State. His name was Overton. Mm-hmm. I thought Overton was good. I thought Gaucher was good. Now before Overton, they had people like Kessler and Winslow. Them guys were the pits, man. And then they had all them other. Now Billy Hayes was down there for a minute. I think he was down there. He helped bring in Joe Taylor. And then I think the guy that's the interim AD, he's been the interim AD. Mr. Campbell in it 3 times? How many times he been the interim AD?
Mr. Ford, I got a call. Let me put this call on. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
What's going on, Carly? You live? Talk to me.
SWAC Buzz, Steve Campbell. Mr. Campbell, how you doing, young brother?
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, man, listen, me and you have talked offline. Like I've told you, I love what you're doing. I'm a big supporter of all you guys. Mr. Ford, it is always glad to hear your voice. I just wanted to bring some clarity to a couple of things. Dr. Ammons can't come back because remember, Dr. Ammons was over the school when there was the issue with the drum major being killed, unfortunately. Right. So he's never coming back. You can't recover from that.
Oh, yeah, I remember
and everything like that. Yeah, so that's not happening. Now, with the Gaucher thing, this is my opinion, but I want to just state it. And as we all black, y'all know if any of that stuff was true with Gaucher, there is no way he would have got that job at Tulane. Come on now. Right. Let's be real. We got friends that you like, they get fired from a job, and you like, hey, man, bro, I can't stand up for you. So now, he got that job because the guy that is the AD, he previously had a relationship with that guy, not personal, but business relationship. I want to be clear on that. And so that guy was his mentor. And that guy knew exactly what was going on, and that's why he got, and remember, he got that job very quickly at Tulane. So he was cleared basically from their HR, from anything. So none of that stuff. Gaucher had none of that. This all has to do with what it stemmed from, which is all public record, with Ramon Alexander, the issue that's going on with the other guy that was working in the athletic department. Part of why Gaucher had to left was all that mess going on down at FAMU. And that is what's so disappointing, is because constantly politics in all our HBCUs and these hookups and things hold us back from greatness.
Yeah.
So that's what FAMU constantly falls into, this trap of hooking folks up. So Ramon Alexander's brother-in-law was hired by the athletic department. He was not qualified to be the track coach, and then guess what he does? So that gives Ramon Alexander access to FAMU. He sexually harassed, well, allegedly, even though he acknowledged it. Well, let's say this, he acknowledged that there was a relationship. So he acknowledged that. So this is not me on here gossiping or rumor mongering. He made the statement that there was a consensual relationship. That's not what you do when you're married, okay? Ain't no consensual when you're married. So let's be clear. So you're bringing these things on the university and got a great AD basically because of a political move that had to force to resign, and that's not good for anybody, and especially not for FAMU.
Do you think Willie Simmons will stay after this season? If FAMU football team have a bad season this year, do you think that he will, go elsewhere?
Well, let me give you a better scenario. FAMU football team's not going to probably have a bad season, right? They'll probably be pretty good. But here's the thing. Let's just play this out. And again, this is not, nobody told me this, but this is reasonable. So Gaucher's over at Tulane. I think Tulane's football team was 2-10 last year, right? Yeah. The AD is definitely and I know this, and this has been reported that he's looking to move on and retire. They promote Gaucher to the AD. Who do you think he would hire for the football coach?
Wow. That makes a lot of sense.
And exactly. So it's not that Willie has a bad season. It's the fact that he has people out there that have the ability to hire him, that he clearly stood up for and likes. So it would be nothing for Gaucher to say, hey, Tulane, let's hire this coach that has the ability to win and turn around programs. And Tulane would not have a problem with that. It would be a good fit for him. So that is what I'm more concerned about, is how that plays out over the next year and what goes on with that than anything else.
They need to do whatever they can to keep him because he's a great coach.
Well, this is the problem. So you know that, we know that, and then again, have you heard, like case in point, I'm pretty sure you guys have read all this, we have a search committee for the AD. Our football coach is not on the search committee. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. If you're a Jack State alum, and let's just say SWAC Diddy, well, you're A.D. Robinson, now I'll be respectful. A.D. Robinson is getting ready to leave, and Deion is still there. You think he's not going to be on the search committee?
Yeah.
You think Nick Saban's not going to be on the search committee for the AD? Or Kirby Smart?
That's crazy.
How in the world that the driver of the whole sports program is not on the search committee?
It has to be something personal then. For that,
exactly.
it has to be something personal going on that we don't know about, that we're not privy to, because just freezing him out like that makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense to any of us. And that was the thing, because when I saw the 18 people, now 18 people, and I'm pretty sure most people listen to different channels, I made my statement about having 18 people, so letting it all 18 of these people are not part of a search firm. These are just people that are affiliated with the university, but they are search firms that do that job. And you've got 18 people, from the tennis coach to other coaches to people that are not even in athletic, on the hierarchy of the athletic department, and your football coach, who is the driver of the sports renaissance at FAMU, is not on the search committee? Bro, that's nothing but personal or bad business, and neither one of them are good for FAMU.
Yeah.
Neither one of them are good for FAMU. So that's what's been upsetting for all of us, that we're watching this play out. And again, and like I say, if you're not appreciated, guess what you do? You leave.
Yeah.
Because to me, that shows I'm not appreciated. If I'm coach, and I'm not speaking for Coach Will Simmons. I'm not saying Coach Simmons said that. I'm saying if it was me. If I'm the coach and it's 18 people and I'm not one of 18, I can't understand if I'm not two, but I'm not 18.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And you don't need the football team having to deal with this nonsense though, because it's hard just getting up, going to practice, playing, getting ready to play this season, and then you have this stuff in the background. That stuff's it affects a team, so they really need to fix that.
Yeah, so that's really what is troubling about all this. So this again is that unfortunate backdoor people not being able to control their urges, not understanding, taking advantage of the position that they're in. And like I said, we've seen this at several schools, and this is just unfortunate. We have to be better leaders and stewards when you're put in those positions, because it's a domino effect. You're dragging your school into things that is personal stuff that should not even be on the campus.
Yeah.
None of this is not something that hey, we're not accredited. We're not doing that like Mr. Ford said. And none of this has anything to do with our academics. We are highly achievable on that side. We have no problem.
Yeah.
But it's the constant personal stuff that is dragging the name down, which is ridiculous. And that's for all these schools. Because if you look at most of these scandals that are going on in these schools, it ain't got nothing to do with people's qualifications or their ability to do the job. It's because they personally are not conducting themselves correctly. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's definitely not the publicity that we need. We need to be trying. We're on the come up right now. Go ahead.
I want to make one last point, then I'll get off. I want to talk about this thing that happened in Georgia, and I want to talk to a lot of people. And I want you guys to understand something, what happened in Georgia, because, again, I work with a lot of lawyers in my business, but I want to point something out. So I want you to think about when those cops came on that bus, and they said, hey, we're looking for stuff. Now, let's be realistic. Do they really think they were going to find kilos of cocaine on a lacrosse bus? Did they really think that? But let me tell you guys something. For all of you all that might deal with marijuana and the medicinals, as they say, in Georgia, now I can't speak for anyone else, if you have marijuana and use a vape pen, that moves it from a misdemeanor to a Class C felony. That's why he said to them, if you guys have anything, because he would have charged any one of those, if they would have had a vape pen, was in Georgia, it is a Class C felony. Because it turns into a liquid form, which changes it, and basically they charge you the same way like cocaine, which is crazy. So I want all of you all to know that's what he was looking for. They were looking for vape pens.
Yeah,
then they would have charged them.
They were definitely trying to charge them for something. You could tell that.
But that's right. But see, that's what it was, because they knew damn well. On a bus. If each one of those girls, like he said, what if they would have had all those girls would have had a joint? That wouldn't even been a pound of weed. Because like I say, so they already knew that when they stopped that bus, that this is not highly likely that underneath that bus is going to have kilos of cocaine. So that is total BS. But what they were praying for, once they figured out they stopped that bus, because really they probably thought that bus was one of those rapper tour buses that come through there all the time that Mr. Ford was talking about. Because that's how a lot of those tour buses get caught up. They stop those tour buses all the time. And they thought that when they stopped it, that they said, well, at least now we're looking bad. Let's see if we get somebody that missed something, because, again, kids do the vape pens. I mean, you see them all. I see people walking around Atlanta all the time with vape pens. And they don't realize if they really, the police would crack down on them, they could charge them with a Class C felony. So I'm telling you, if you all are driving in Georgia, do not have a vape pen in your car, because they can charge you with a Class C felony. And this is 100% factual. So I wanted to make sure for all my young folks out there, well, all my old folks like me that's 52 that's still smoking and everything. Because them crackers down there in South Georgia going down that 95 and up 75, they don't play. They're looking for that. So I want to be very, and that, like they said, Brittany Griner, that's why she's getting jacked up, because if Brittany Griner had that vape pen, if she would have just had joints, this wouldn't have been nothing. That's exactly what happened to her. They're going to, and Russia is totally different because of our law. But I'm telling you all, like I say, when you put in a vape pen, it changes to a narcotic for some it's one of those stupid rules on the books.
Wow.
But see, they know they catch black folks in it.
Wow.
So they don't care. So please be aware of these things when you guys are traveling to these different states. Because like I say, in Atlanta, they won't even stop you with a joint. They don't even give you a ticket anymore. They already said we're not charging people for smoking marijuana. But again, you go outside of Atlanta Metro with a vape pen, they can charge you like you have cocaine.
And let that be a lesson for all the teams in the SWAC. When y'all traveling, players, coaches, don't have nothing on y'all. It's not worth it, because y'all know what they looking for. Y'all know they want an excuse. You know, they just looking for an excuse to charge y'all with something. So be careful when these teams are traveling, out of state, because, you're a target. That's just how it is nowadays. We're a target, and we have to move like we are.
big target. Well, hey, man, great show. Again, I was sitting there listening to you guys because clearly the basketball game has been over since the first quarter. So I was able to listen to you guys even a little bit better. So, Mr. Ford, it is always great to hear your voice. SWAC Bud, like I told you, personally, I'm very proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. And if you ever need me, you can always call me. So you guys have a great show.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Phone lines are open, y'all. I'll take a couple of more calls. 657-390-4814. You want to call in, get your thoughts out on anything that we talked about tonight. Delaware State issue, all the players in the SWAC that's at these NFL camps. Whatever you want to talk about, you can call in and talk about it. I'll take a couple of more calls. I don't want to keep Mr. Ford too long, so I'll take a couple more calls. Let me read what they're saying in the comments. I don't think I even have interest in the rest of the playoffs. So y'all talking about basketball. They would charge you in downtown Atlanta. APD don't care. Stay off of I-16. Yeah, man. Our teams definitely need to move. Let this be a lesson. We definitely need to move different because you know what's going on nowadays. And they're not doing anything about it. That's the sad thing about it. Mr. Ford, anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah,
anything?
I wanted to ask Mr. Campbell about this new plan the ACC is putting forth for the football schedule, because I think that's going to come to the SWAC.
Yeah, you could have asked him. You was on. I said you could have asked him.
Huh?
I said you could have asked him. I had you on. Like you was on.
I didn't know it. I thought I was on hold. But anyway, They got this new thing. What they're looking at in the ACC is three. It would be 3-5-5. You would have three permanent. You have three permanent opponents, 5 opponents that would rotate out every 2 years, and then I think you would have 3 out-of-conference games. But they're saying they want to cut out divisions, and what they want to do in the ACC is the 2 top teams will meet for the championship. Now, if they had that in the SWAC last year, at the end of the season, it would have been FAMU and Jackson State. So that's why I want to ask Mr. Kemp, what did he think about that new ACC plan that they're getting ready to put in? Because I really believe that's going to come to the SWAC. Because, listen, guys, ain't no way we can get around it. The 2 top programs in that SWAC is Jackson State and FAMU. Mm-hmm. And I just believe that eventually they're going to change that rule. They're going to change that schedule where the 2 top teams in the SWAC are going to meet for the SWAC championship. Because if they had that it's called the 3-5-5 plan by the ACC, we would have had Jackson State hosting FAMU in Jackson last year for the championship. And I was going to ask Mr. Campbell, what did he think about that?
Yeah, he said that's definitely coming to the SWAC. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot because you're really seeing who the best team is in the conference. That way, you know.
Yeah. Now, before the coming of Rod Kramer is the one in the SEC who divided up this SEC East and SEC West. Before that, they used the plan like that. And that's why the University of Georgia, for many, many years, they would run from the University of Alabama. Now, they would play Auburn every year. They would play Florida every year. They would play Mississippi State. But they would play Alabama. When Vince Dooley was the coach, he'd only play Alabama like one time every 4 years because he didn't want to run into that Crimson Tide. So it makes sure that the best 2 teams, you don't have any divisions, the best 2 teams at the end of the season meet for the championship. I agree with you, Mr. Campbell. I think that's coming to the SWAC. I think the SWAC is going to look at that because, listen, this East and West, I think they're going to get rid of that. They're going to get rid of those divisions.
Lawrence Reed says the division will end in the FBS and the other conferences with less than 10 teams can host a championship game.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I like that. I hope they implement that quickly. You know, I wouldn't mind if they did that this season, but I know that they might not do it this season. But I definitely like that.
Because listen, guys, this is what is this? May 15th or May 16th. Remember now, the 1st of August, they'll be in there. And FAM, I think, is coming. FAM's preseason football starts the last of July because they have a game in week 0, which means FAMU has a football game the last week of August. So actually, we're no more than we about 6 weeks away. Let's see, we've got June. We're about 7 or 8 weeks away from them kids reporting to FAMU for for fall football, right? Isn't that about right?
Mm-hmm. Somebody said earlier, how come Alabama State is getting all these players? I think it's because of their facilities. Alabama State has some good facilities, y'all, and they got good coaching staff.
And don't forget this now, that they sit in the middle of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's called the Black Belt. It's the capital city. It's about 120 miles from Atlanta. What is it, about 3 hours away from Jackson, or is it 2 hours away from Jackson?
It's probably like 2 hours.
How far is it from Jackson? How far is Montgomery to Jackson, Mississippi?
It's probably like 2 hours.
Okay. Isn't it less than 100 miles from Montgomery to Birmingham? How far is it from Montgomery to Birmingham?
Drizzy says 3 hours.
From Montgomery to Birmingham?
Now, I think Montgomery to Birmingham, that's probably like 1 hour and 30 minutes, right? Because that's in state.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's got an ideal situation. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Now, Mr. Campbell, y'all might disagree with me on this, but I'm going to say this. Alabama State should be the dominant football power in Alabama. It shouldn't be Alabama A&M. The reason Alabama A&M is the dominant football power is because their coach is named Cornell Maynor. That's the only reason. If you look at everything, if you put the two programs side by side, Alabama State should be the dominant power.
Yeah.
But Alabama A&M has Cornell Maynor. That's the difference. Now, somebody need to tell me. I don't think Cornell Maynor has ever lost that Magic City Classic. Has he ever lost that? Has anybody ever beat him in the Magic City Classic?
I'm not totally sure.
I think he's undefeated.
I need to go to a Magic City Classic. I've never been to one.
Oh,
I've been
one of the
to
biggest games in the country, man. That's not just an HBCU game.
I've been to the Bayou Classic.
One of the biggest games in America. One of the biggest college football games in America.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check one of those out because I've never been. I went to all the other classes, but I've never been to that one.
Oh yeah, it's one of the biggest games in America. Not just HBCU. That game there is on the same plane as Ohio State, Michigan, Florida, Georgia, Texas A&M, Southern Cal, and UCLA. That game is there.
All right, I got it.
At one time, I don't know if it is now, but at one time, that was the biggest black college game in America. It's definitely the biggest FCS game.
I got another call, Ms. Ford. Let me put them on. Hold on.
Okay.
What's going on, Callie Live? Talk to me.
Hey, Marquise Bell, I had him going by the 6th or 7th round. Why did he fall so low in the draft where he was a free agency?
I'm not totally sure. If you look at his grades from the combine, they had him slotted as a practice player. So I'm thinking they probably dinged him, but he definitely should have been drafted. And, I think when they got into those late rounds, they probably wanted to get him for cheap, so they just waited until after the draft to sign him.
Because that was a player that the SWAC expected to get off the board.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this. That boy of Alcorn, Nico Duffy, if he was playing slot receiver, he has a chance to go. And the same thing with that guy was playing running back for Florida A&M, because these boys they gonna increase their draft stock by changing position. I don't say that because Nico Duffy, he can play slot and run back kicks. He not gonna get drafted as a running back. Kendarius Cole would have stayed at the Alcorn. He would have got drafted, but he left he got he signed a free agency from Louisville.
Yeah.
But he stayed at Alcorn, he would have got drafted. These kids, Alabama State, they drafted a quarterback from Auburn. I got a wide receiver at Alabama State. He transferred over from Mississippi State. I have kids at Alcorn, Southern, Texas, LSU, and like I train athletes. But that quarterback, the reason they Alabama State is the reason they getting more kids because they following their quarterback. My wide receiver, he wouldn't have went Alabama State if they didn't have a quarterback,
right?
Because their quarterback is coming over there at Alabama. I'm gonna be sending all my kids to Alabama State from now on. All right, I made a call to Alcorn. I have 2 kids on their team right now. I train athletes. I never send nobody else to Alcorn because I call out there and they I asked them, you having a summer camp this year? The man rushed me off the phone. I've had more kids than Alcorn had in the 2000 in the draft. And I've had more kids than Alcorn has had in 2000 up to now. And I don't even coach a football team. All right,
okay.
I train athletes.
Okay,
but I never send nobody else to Alcorn.
Right.
Alabama State gets my players from now on.
All right, thank you for the call. I appreciate the call. Make sure you keep watching the show. But I thank you for your input.
You got a good show. I like what you're doing.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, that was Brother Ronnie. Yeah, my brother has had a stroke. He told us last time that he's had a stroke. So, so that's what's going on, y'all. So, we always respect our brothers over here. So we're gonna give him his time to talk and get his thoughts out and say what he needs to say. We're gonna be respectful to everybody. All right. Anything else you want to say, Mr. Ford? I ain't gonna keep you too long. I'm gonna go ahead and end the show in a minute.
Let me just say this. I want everybody to keep their eye on this invasion from California. I'm noticing that every SWAC team now. I originally thought the invasion from California was at Grambling, but notice that you're getting a lot of kids who are originally from California or went to junior college in California, and I'm keeping my eye on them. I think Alabama A&M just signed a 3-star kid quarterback from California. Well, I'm watching to see this California invasion and what effect will it have on the SWAC. Now, and that's another thing I was asking Mr. Campbell about. I'm all in with that Musa kid. Okay, I'm not into politics. I believe that Musa kid that transferred from Vanderbilt was from California can lead Florida A&M to a SWAC championship. You hear that, Mr. Campbell? So I hope that y'all don't play politics with him. That boy needs to start. He is what you've been praying for. He can lead you to the promised land. They call him Musa, I think his name is, but he's from California too. Watch all these kids from California. I think this is going to be a good thing for the SWAC that California has opened up, and now we have an influx of California athletes into the SWAC.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all have a good night, okay?
All right, Mr. Ford. Thank you for the call.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I know Hugh Jackson has really been trying to get out there to California. So y'all be on the lookout for Grambling. I think they might be doing something in California as well. Vaughn says football is politics. We're gonna see what Musa does now. We're gonna see what he does. Hopefully he's be the starting quarterback. And I just want to see good competition in the SWAC this year. I can't wait for the season to start. It's like it's taking forever. It's moving so slow. I'm ready to see some good football come back to the SWAC. I don't think they have HBCUs in Cali, so the interest in HBCU may be higher than we think. Oh, yeah. And, we tell people that you're going to have a different experience at a HBCU. The teachers really care about you at HBCU. Like, I retweeted a story on Twitter from Dillard University. I want to talk about the young lady. She was having a baby, so she didn't get a chance to walk across the stage. The president of the school showed up at the hospital, with his gown on and everything, and they had a little ceremony in the hospital room for her. I just thought that was so nice, and just shows how caring the administration is at HBCUs. That's the difference. That's the different experiences that you're gonna get when you go to an HBCU. That means the SWAC is getting bigger and bigger when you have athletes coming from California. Oh, yeah. SWAC fans said, that's love. Yeah, man, that was nice, man. And the administrator, he was texting her. So that's the thing. I used to text my teachers when I was at Jackson State. So they just go to show you how close the professors at HBCUs get with their students. You can text them. They really check in on you. They check to see how you're doing. They ask you why you're not in class and things like that. Real Talk said Joshua Williams update. Oh, yeah, he's good to go. Yeah, he's good. He's in there like swimmer, Real Talk. He doesn't have a problem. He doesn't have anything to worry about. He's going to be on the Chiefs. So there's nothing to worry about with him. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. We did a quick show tonight. I'll be dropping other videos and going live again through the week. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Rattler Dad said, yes, my daughter's at FAMU. Yeah, man. I try to steer every young kid I talk to go to a HBCU, man. Especially if you're somebody that's going to need some special attention when it comes to your academics. You don't want to just go to a school where the teachers is going to be like, hey, I'm not helping you or anything like that. You can get that, that love and care at a HBCU. You will have some compassionate professionals that will take time and really try to help you. They're not just there to get a check. Appreciate that. But yeah, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I'll be doing other videos this week. But yeah, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. I'm gone.